Got a Blaze PR1000 or flat bench style Bowflex? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can turn it into an actual good rowing machine. If you've ever tried rowing on your Bowflex, you'll probably find it awkward and that it just really doesn't work. And there's two reasons for that. The first is when you push away from the machine, your legs aren't strapped in and there's no direct resistance against them. So you just kind of float away from the machine, and then you have to be really deliberate when you contract. Otherwise, your legs fall off the platform, or maybe even you. And you might be like, well, what about the weight in the handles? And technically, yes, that weight pulls you back towards the machine, but just barely. And that's a function of aerobic rows. You can't just rack up 200 pounds of resistance and expect to just row for 10 or 20 minutes, because your back, your shoulders, and your arms are all going to be spent in maybe a minute or two. The other problem with the weight is it comes from the outside as an out wide instead of down the middle. If you look at a rower, you hold the handles and you pull the weight and you get pulled back right down the middle of the machine. And that helps a lot when it comes to pulling you back to start your next repetition. So we've got a couple things to fix, and we're going to start with the floating away problem. On a traditional rower, you strap your feet onto the machine. On the Bowflex, there's not really a great way to do that, but fortunately we can do better. By using a belt, you can strap the weight behind your back and it'll naturally pull you back towards the machine, basically doing a leg press. But what's great about this is it'll engage your legs in each repetition even more. We're going to get to the handles in a moment, but I want to break this down a little bit. If you're going to be doing an aerobic row workout, you're going to be rowing for 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes. When you row, you're going to be doing 25 to 35 rows per minute, or that would be your cadence. At 30 rows per minute times 20 minutes, you're looking at 600 repetitions. And I think this is going to wear out your power rods just too quickly. Now, I haven't been able to find any direct testing or data on this, but personally, I think your power rods probably have between 10 and 20,000 repetitions in them. And a few row workouts would take a huge dent into that. I tested a lot of options and configurations involving elastic bands. Inevitably, though, they broke every time. The pace and the duration of rowing just caused too much frictions, and they broke every time. I even tried lubricating them, and they still broke. Ultimately, though, I found that bungee cords work really well. They don't seem to have the same problem with friction, and I have not had any failures around the clips or the handles. To set up the cords, we're going to run them behind the tower and then run them through these carabiner clips at the front of the machine. But where did I get that extra set of carabiners? Well, the listing for the bungee cords in the description comes up with 4 cords. I found that 3 cords tends to be the perfect resistance for me, and maybe 2 is right for you, but either way you end up with an extra cord or 2. You can take the carabiners off the extra cord and then use them to route the bands. Then you have a spare just in case any break, which hasn't been an issue for me in my many hours of rowing so far. So I clipped the cords into my carabiners, and now I need to run them behind the machine. If you have a PR1000, we can use this cover to our advantage. Remove it and run the cords through it, and then put it back on and you're all set. Now, if you have a Blaze or a different machine, you may need to remove a plate here and then find a spot to affix the cords. And there you go. We've got some resistance that's going to last thousands of reps, and it's only $20 on Amazon, and you even get a spare. If you already have a belt, that's great. But if you need to buy one, I recommend this one here called the Dark Iron Fitness Dip Belt. It runs between $30 and $40 on Amazon, and I really like this one because it has this strap that goes around your waist to keep it from slipping down while rowing. It's also made of just really high quality materials, and it comes with a nice set of carabiner clips that you could also use to run your cords. If you already have a belt, though, no need to buy another. What you are going to want to do, though, is find something to attach it around your waist so it doesn't slip down while rowing. And this could be another belt, a cable, a cord, whatever you got handy, just attach it around your waist. So let's talk about our handles. You've got to get the weight running down the middle of the machine. And on my machine, the pulleys are affixed out wide, and rowing like that just still feels off. You can't get in the same flow state or rhythm that you would normally with a rower. And for that, we need the weight coming down the middle of the machine. And again, I tried elastic bands here, but they just wore out and ultimately broke after a few workouts. But what didn't break is pull-up assist bands. And if you're not familiar with these, they're bands that you can use to help you do a set of pull-ups even if you can't do one. They're incredibly durable, and they have other uses in the weight room. And we're going to use them here since they hold up to the high stress and high volume that rowing brings. Now, I found that the black 30 to 50 pound band to be the perfect one for me, but the red 10 to 30 pound band also works for less resistance. Once we've got those, just wrap them behind the tower and lock them in with the bungee cords. Then bring the bands around to the front of the tower and clip each handle to both sides. Also, don't run the bands through the carabiners. We're trying to create resistance that runs down the middle of the machine just like a rower. I've got one other tweak to optimize this setup, and that's using shorter handles. The Bowflex handles have a lot of slack, and the shorter handle activates the tension in the bands just a little bit sooner for a smoother, more gradual row. For shorter handles, I like using these ones that came with my elastic bands that I used to inexpensively upgrade the resistance of my machine. And you can learn more about that with the video that's linked in the description field of this video. It's only 20 bucks to upgrade the resistance of your machine with those bands. So I've got links to all the products mentioned in this video in the description as well. And if you don't need a belt and you're just buying the bungee cords and the pull-up assist band, this is only going to run you about $30 altogether to unlock this new cardio feature of your Bowflex. And unlike a treadmill or a fan or a water-based rowing machine, this one's actually really quiet, so you can watch TV or a video without having to crank up the volume. And can I recommend my first row workout video to get you started? It's linked on the screen right now. And also check out the rest of my channel for tons of other Bowflex content and including follow-along workouts. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a like, comment below, use the product links in the description, and as always, be good yourself, be good to others, and thank you for watching.